Good morning, everyone, and happy Sabbath. I hope that you slept well and that you woke up this morning in good spirits and you spent time with the Lord and you're ready for your day. Let's remember that this is the Sabbath and we should uplift our Savior today. What I wanted to talk about is the power of the tongue. And the Bible says a lot of things about what you say out of your mouth. Because the tongue is powerful. It can start wars. It can unalive people. It can say hurtful things that you can't take back. It's just when you use it in the wrong way, it has powers that can cause evil. And so Jesus, God, I use all the names, Holy Spirit, lets us know that we need to be mindful of the things that we say out of our mouths. If it's not anything that is uplifting, helpful, encouraging, it shouldn't be said. It also talks about cursing. Now, people think, when you start to read through the Bible or you start listening to the Word of God, it seems like everything that you do is a sin. But He doesn't necessarily put a list of, these things are, actually He does put a list, but what He is saying is you're going to be held accountable for what you do and what you say. So if you know in your head, if you're going to say something or do something that you automatically know is wrong, then you're sinning and you're doing it purposely. Because even if you know it's wrong, you don't even have to try to, is this okay to do? If you know it's wrong, if you know it sounds wrong, if you know it feels wrong, it's wrong. It's most likely wrong, and you're doing it purposely because you still chose to do it when you knew it was wrong. Words can be very, very detrimental. Like I said, it can cause a lot of catastrophe or a lot of issues. So when we choose to use words that harm people, it's just showing what your heart is, because you're speaking from inside. You're speaking from your heart. So if the words that come out of your mouth match your heart, that shows what kind of person you are or the character of the person you are. If nothing that comes out of your mouth is good, you don't have anything nice to say about anything or anyone, then what your heart is showing that you don't have compassion, love, sensitivity, or any kind of good thing in you. It takes a lot. You have to be very, very angry and to be able to say things, bad things all the time, never have anything good to say. And if you're in that constant state of, I'm going to say things to hurt people, I don't care, this is what I do, and everybody knows that that's your personality, that's how you're going to be treated. Some people aren't going to want to be around you. People aren't going to trust you. When you people add things to things that you do. So if you're always saying bad things, you're always, you're just mean, you just try to put people down all the time, people are going to think you're not trustworthy, you're a liar. all kinds of things, just because of this character or the reason or the way that you speak. All those other things fall into play. They would probably say, I wouldn't put anything past you, just because of your tongue, what you use. And God says that you will be held accountable for every thing that you say out your mouth. And it's not really even worth it. But you need to find out what makes you so angry or so hurt to want to hurt other people. I'm sure that doesn't give you, well, I'm not going to say that. Maybe it does give people pleasure to hurt other people. So I don't know what the reasoning is. We just know that the devil is working 24 hours a day. He doesn't stop. He doesn't go on break. He doesn't take a vacation. He is constantly working. He's constantly in your head, trying to get in your head. He's constantly making you doubt things, making you doubt people, or he will even make you feel like paranoid. Like he will make you feel like everybody's out to get you. And so you have to be on guard all the time, and you just don't trust anyone, and everybody is an enemy, and you have to protect yourself at all times. So the reason why I say when you wake up, I hope you spent a little time with the Lord, is because that's a protection for you. If you get up in the morning and you praise the Lord and you spend a little time with him, the devil doesn't like that. He doesn't want to be around that. He doesn't want to hear any good words. He doesn't want to hear any encouraging words. He doesn't want to hear any of it. So that kind of makes him flee for the moment. And then when you feel like he's coming back or he's trying it again, you can just say a little prayer in your head or tell him, like, get thee behind me, Satan. To discourage him or his warrior from trying to make you do or say something that might be hurtful. So now I'm going to go on to a big topic that everyone discusses or talks about, and that's the word, and I don't cuss, so it's the B word. And women get upset and, get angry when men call them that word. But women, we have to be held accountable for what we do or how we react or how we allow certain things. So if you're going to say that it's okay for a man to use that word when he's using it in a quote nice way or complimentary way, if he's saying that you're a bad bee, or if he's saying you're my bee, and you say that's okay, why are you mad when he just calls you the bee? You're giving him permission. You're telling him that it's okay if you're going to call me those two words or say those two words about me. So why do you get mad when he just uses the word? We can't have it. We can't do a double standard. We can't have it both ways. The word is not a compliment. It's not a term of endearment. It doesn't describe you at all. That has a specific name, and I thought it was a female dog. Maybe it isn't. That's what I was told that it meant. And so, since you're not a female dog, then I would assume everyone will assume, or no, we don't have to assume, we know that it's not a good word to use. I've talked to men and ask them why do they use that word, or what makes them call women that. And some of them are just, nonchalant about it. Oh, it doesn't mean nothing. That's just what we say. It doesn't mean anything. That's just what you say. Okay. Some say, I call them that if that's how they're acting. So how do you act like a female dog? Because I don't, maybe, I don't know. I don't see women, walking on getting down and walking on all their, using their feet and their hands. How do they act like? So there must be a different term or definition for the word that men use, because how do you act like one? And so I've had others say, I use it when the woman is being disrespectful. And I would, what's being disrespectful? Calling them out their name, or, trying to act like a man. I guess a woman is not supposed to argue with a man, or, go up against a man, which is true. But you're using, I don't appreciate you calling me out my name, so in turn I'm going to call you out yours. And then it's going to turn into something bigger and maybe cause something traumatic. But society, in all of its craziness, we're just fighting an uphill battle. Some women enjoy that name. Some women call each other that name. And so when some women accept it, men may think all women accept it, or it's okay. And it's not. That's not my name. That's not how I feel like I act. I don't go around trying to put anybody down or use my mouth to, harm anyone. And so I started off just like, when I hear the word, I would get upset. And I've talked about this before. When I came on here, I was not used to YouTube. I was not used to social media, and I was out of my league. So I didn't act the way or accept some of the stuff that was being said or done on here. So I found myself having confrontations with people about the things that they say. And I had to realize that it makes me look, I don't want to have a argue with someone about, let me put it this way. I didn't want to argue with strangers about something that's their way. If I don't want to hear the word, then I don't go around the people that use that word. If I hear a man and he's calling another lady a B, I don't have to, I didn't have to open my mouth to say anything, which didn't make it any better, because then, me and that person, get into an issue, and that woman may not have a problem with him calling her a B. So I had to learn that my battles are not on here, are not on YouTube. I don't have issues with people on here. I don't try to make enemies on here. I just do, my, spread the word, do my uploads. I do go in a few chats because I know a group of people that are pretty nice, and I like being around them. But I have to remember, I came to their stomping grounds. I guess that's what you can call it. And if I don't like what's going on, I shouldn't be there. So I've learned to just pray for those who find it necessary to tear people down. I don't know what the issue is with that person, and nobody knows what other people are going through. So I don't judge them, that way. I can't judge them because I can't. That's not my job. But it's just that we also, since I know that God will deal with people in his own way, because it doesn't affect my life. It doesn't cause me to any harm or make me want to do it, that I have to just understand that maybe that person hasn't found peace in their heart yet. Maybe that person is still struggling with finding themselves. They're going through something that they feel bad inside, and they don't know how to release it without being angry or hurtful or whatever. So I don't pay it any mind. And like I said, I just don't need to be there if I'm having issues. My dog is acting up. So if I'm there and I react to someone, saying that, then I failed, because I put myself in that situation, and I might have reacted the wrong way, and so now I've caused issues where I should have knew better or should have done better at all times, trying to make sure that I am uplifting God. Words over the years, like I said, people have come up with words to control or, degrade or put down people. And so the biggest word I could think of would be the N word. That other people thought of this word for a race of people that they deemed ignorant, low class, beneath them, just anything bad. That's what that word was used for. So when you're called that every day of your life, and you actually know what it means, then how do you come out of that? How do you feel differently? How do you say, that's not who I am? That's not what type of person I am? I don't believe that they were able to come out of that in the first generation of slavery. That's what they told them that they were. I'm sure, well, I know that there were people who did not believe that. But like I said, everybody is not as strong as the next person. I'm pretty sure that there were, women whose husbands were gone, and they were trying to keep their babies together, and they just wanted to survive. They didn't have the strength and the courage to, stand up. They just wanted to survive. They wanted to protect their kids. They just wanted, to be able to live another day. So they were basically going by whatever they were told. And so that word has stuck throughout. It's still being used to make Black people feel bad about themselves, or I don't really think right now, I don't think in this day and age it's used to make them feel bad about themselves. It's used to upset Black people. It's used to enrage them. It is used to just degrade them, to let them know that that's what you were back then, and that's what you still are today. We have made it sound like it doesn't bother us anymore, and we've even turned a little bit by adding the GA to soften the word, but it's still the word, no matter however you spell it, however you say it, it's still a demeaning word. And so when we use it, we're saying it's okay to use it because we put the GA on it. But they can't use it because we put the GA on it. Well, if GA makes it a different thing, what does GA mean? What's the definition? If you take it from an ER to a GA, what is the change? What is the definition? What does it mean? Or are we just tricking our minds to say that we got you, you can't harm us with this word, we changed it and we say it now, so you can't bother us with that word? And that's not true. That's not true at all. I have seen over and over, time again, that a Caucasian person has slipped up and used that word and got pulverized for using it. Now, I'm not sure if they would have used the GA, would have been the same thing. Would they still got pulverized? Because I'm not sure what the GA, does it mean you're cool, or you're my homie, or home girl? I'm not sure, but we substitute that word instead of erasing it. And what I mean by erasing it is not giving it power. You know what makes a person more angry is when they're going off on you, or if they're telling you, you're on the phone and they're yelling at the top of their lungs and they're calling you every name in the book, and you don't say anything. You remain silent. That makes them mad, because they took all their energy to hurt your feelings, to bring you down and to make you mad, and you are not reacting, like it doesn't bother you. So that's what I mean by erasing. I know it's hard to do that because we feel like, we've come this far and we're going to go backwards. Well, we really haven't gone that much further than, before. I mean, we have gone, but being able to say we have overcome means we are equal, and we aren't, or treated equal, and we're not. They intend to never treat us equal. They will tolerate the fact that we're here because they have no choice. And so they, and not all, but those who still have a problem with black people being here and being treated, and being free, will never let go of the past, will never let go of what their ancestors tried to do, or what their ancestors, in order for you in this day and age to be a person, a Caucasian person, and to not like black people, that was carried from every generation since your people came here. People aren't born with a gene that causes them to, have a certain disdain for a certain thing. They're born and then they're taught what they're supposed to believe or what they're supposed to do. A baby soaks up a lot. A baby learns a lot. You can teach a baby different languages if you wanted to, because they don't have any limitations. They don't know that there's limitations. They don't know that they're not supposed to be able, or we don't think they're supposed to be able to do those things. So they don't have any inhibitions. If you throw them in a swimming pool, they're going to turn over and float on their backs. If you throw a grown-up in the swimming pool and they can't swim, they're going to drown. So it's a taught type of hatred, and it's dangerous because you're taught that, but you don't even know why. You don't even know why you hate another person and call them a name that you don't even know what was behind it, because I'm sure they don't sit around and talk about our history. Because I learned nothing about anything about Black history when I was in high school. My learning came from me being curious, wondering where were we during this period of time, because we're still here. So how did we get from there to here? And I wasn't having any answers, or I wasn't understanding what I was told. So, they couldn't hide it for that long, for so long. They were able to, hopefully, they were trying to get us to believe that, we didn't contribute anything, or we weren't any good for the country, or whatever. And then we found out that wasn't true. And then we found out that it wouldn't be a country without us. And then we found out that we were taken from the promised land that we lived in, some of us, where we were kings and queens, and that we walked with Jesus and brought to a place that was considered a bad place. What's the word? Babylon, or however people call it. But it wasn't a good place. It wasn't. It started off with lawlessness and evil and murderous rage and fornication and all those bad things that have been taught through the Bible that were wrong. And they had a Bible and they pushed it out there to tell us what it said, basically just to say this is what God's will is, that we be slaves, which was a lie. But they weren't pushing out when it says not to fornicate, not to commit adultery, not to SA anyone, so it wasn't used for the right. It was used as a tool to keep us in line, keep us thinking this is what God. Well, I have to clear that up, because they knew that was not God's will. They came from the country where he spoke, where he walked the grounds, where he taught people. They just knew it was what they said, and we were outnumbered and not in our home. So words have been used for all this time, to keep people under control or keep people from trying to further themselves, or keep people from learning the truth, or to give them, make them feel like they're less, or just, you just get tired. You're told the same thing every day, and even though maybe you don't believe that you just don't want to fight anymore. You don't want to, and that had to be a lot of them, and we couldn't blame them for that. We couldn't blame them that some of them gave up because they just wanted to live. And when I talk about our ancestors and read about what they went through and how, they had to survive, it makes me really, really angry and ashamed to know what we're doing to ourselves today. Because it looks like we've given up. It looks like we're tired. Like we don't want to fight anymore. We never did. Like we don't want to stand up. Like we believe what they're telling us. That's what it feels like to me. That our lives are just going to be stagnant the way that they have been, way it has been, and we're just going to survive. And we don't have to, we don't endure what their survival looked like, by no means. Now, on top of that, some of them endured that and still refused to lay down. There were men who ran away time after time. They would be caught, they would be tortured, they would be left scarred, maimed, crippled, and they would do it again. They would run again, because that was the fire in them, knowing if they could reach freedom, that whatever was left of them was free, the way they should have been. They didn't care if they didn't, by the time they had ran so many times, if all that was left was a head and an arm, it was free. They were free. We just accept pieces of you know, whatever's thrown, and we just go on with that. And I will tell you that, and I'm not just saying this because I am the color. I love being a black woman. I have I have so much pride in being a black woman. It just takes me over. And then when I hear about other black women and the things that they have done and the things that they went through to get to where they are, to be great and to care about other people being great and to teach other people how to be great, it just warms my heart. It does. I loved to listen to Maya when she gave speeches. It just strengthens you. It just lets you know that we were not meant to survive. And we did. And it just seems like we don't respect the fact that we're still here, we survived, and the people before us made it possible. That we are taking their legacy and we're throwing it away. I'm not saying that it couldn't be turned around. I don't know. It just gets a little disappointing to know that some people just seems like they can't see life beyond the weekend or, what they're doing after work, what they do after the football games. They can't see past the whatever because they're comfortable, they're satisfied because what we've been given, if you have a house and a nice car and a nice job, you have a bank account and all that, you're fine. That's considered you've made it. But you are better. You can strive for something better. You don't have to settle into where you're supposed to stay. Like look, this is what we gave you. You're doing fine. Don't cause any trouble. Don't try to go and run for governor or be in any office. Don't do it. Don't go out and try to rally your people together to get laws changed or to protect one another. Don't do it. You've seen what happens to people when they do that, so don't do it. And it just seems like to me they win every time. And I don't advocate, violence. I don't advocate, none of that. I just togetherness. We don't even have to, just respect, just pride, just acknowledging another black man on the street, another black woman on the street. Hey sister, I see what you're doing. I love your hair. It's natural. I love it. Just do we even see any other black people when we're out? Do we even look at them? Are we looking at them or are we looking through them? Are we ashamed of who we are that we don't want to cause any people to look at us or, draw us out of the crowd? And the first thing that we should do is take care of home. We can't make a group of people believe that we're not violent and that we are standing together if we are being violent and not standing together. And so black women need to understand that we are not enemies, that we are in the same situation, have been in the same situation. I don't care if you're high yellow or midnight black. Every woman is beautiful, whether you're 6'3" and skinny or 5'2" and big. Men need to realize that you don't have to have muscles to be called a man. You can still carry a book and learn and go out and teach and have people look at you like you're a king. You don't have to wear gold chains around your neck or the latest shoe or whatever to be looked at, to be found attractive, to be found a warrior. And we should make all kings feel that way, as kings should make queens feel that way. The B word is, yes, just a word, but we gave it power just like they gave the other word power. But we can erase both of them. We can erase both of those words out of our vocabulary and start fresh and start over. Men, I believe if you have been a man that has used that word often and that's what you're known for, if you tried and eliminated it out of your vocabulary, women would notice that. And you probably would look more attractive and more intelligent. I don't understand why people don't know that it makes you, when you use words, the words that you use makes you look like how you are. If you're just using slang words and cuss words, and that, you don't look intelligent. And you could be, but you just don't sound intelligent. You just don't look intelligent. And is it really necessary? Do we hate each other that much that we don't care? Do we just want those words to stick? We just want them to stick and make you so angry. I know that some of us are angry at each other for whatever reason. Black men say black women are trying to act like black men, and black women say black men are acting like women, and they're not standing up and doing their part, and all they want to do is get high and just hang out with their friends. But we don't have to live with these stereotypes. We do not have to keep dragging them with us like a chain, the chains that we have drug with us for so long. We are not. You tell them, I am not who you say I am. And you stand up and let them know that I am not who you say I am. It doesn't have to be violent. You don't even have to, just the fact of a black man or woman just making a speech, just saying what you are, who you are, how you feel you are, and no one can change that. No one can take that away from you, and no one's going to take that away from you. Just gives you power. It may shudder. It may make other people shudder. Because what they're hoping is that you still have fear. You still believe that you're beneath, and you're too afraid to excel or too afraid to show that you're better. Be a student in high school and be able to outdo your classmates and be black. You'll find that they don't like that. But if you believe that this is you and that's who you are, you will excel, and they'll have to acknowledge it and get to like it or not. Don't dumb down yourself because you don't want to cause issues or to be, targeted. I used to go to class, and there was a guy that sat next to me, and I don't know. It's just always been in me, and I think that some of my family was in fear that I would cause myself to get in trouble because I was like, what is the word that they would have called me back? The uppity word, N-word. And so he said that he answered a question or something, and it wasn't the right answer or whatever. They started laughing at him. So I turned the question around with a smart answer, which fit. And they were, they just looked at me like, well, it's not okay. And when he looked at me and he's kind of leaned over and he told me, thank you. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. It was for us, because I don't know what, it wasn't, I was not trying to be like, oh, I know the answer, or that was for us. You laughed at somebody just like me because you felt that he was not good enough or wasn't smart enough or whatever. So I take offense to that. So that wasn't for me to, that was for me and him. And so from them days on, I realized that it was a challenge, and I was always ready for a challenge. So that's why I continued to be the way that I am. I don't let the fear of being criticized or whatever stop me from trying my best or doing my best or exceeding the best that I did the last time. So I just want people to realize that you are the ones that make the difference. You are the ones. If you just take a step forward, somebody else might look at you and take a step forward. Somebody might get inspired by something that you say or something that you do, and then they want to take a step forward, and then it goes on and on and on, and then things just drop off. We don't use words. We don't we act a different way. We don't accept things that we used to accept before, and before you know it, we have overcome. Maybe that's just my wish, but I believe in God, and so I believe that it's possible. I hope you all believe it's possible too. And all I want to say is, please be mindful of the words that you use against other people. They're hurtful. Sometimes they can be devastating. You can call someone to not want to be here anymore, or to do something, just by being pushed so long and being told or being called that, or feeling like it's true and nobody cares and nobody even tells you anything different. Just think about if what you want people to say to you, how you want to feel. Do you want to feel awful, or to have someone tell you that you're something, even though you know you're not? But just the fact that someone thinks that, and you can't make them not believe it. They probably don't believe what they're saying. They're just saying it to make you mad. But it just takes people to understand that we've been through enough. We've done enough to ourselves. And it's time that we make a difference, to make a change, to if we don't feel we're strong enough, pass it on to the next person. Trump always says, make America great again, which, whenever it was, okay. Make our people strong again. There was a time when we were together and we were helping each other and pushing each other. And, there was a time. You might want to go back and read about it, but there was a time. And so we need to get back to that. That's all I have for today. I hope everyone has a blessed day and a happy Sabbath. And until next time.